Hey there, we're going to be building a 2x2 flush with the wall Jeb Door operated by buttons. This total spacing width-wise is 11 blocks. You'll need 4 blocks underneath your feet and 5 blocks above your head, or above feet level. And I forget how deep it goes. The resources that you'll need for it are
8 sticky pistons, or if you're hard up for slime balls, 6 sticky pistons and 2 regular ones. Block of choice, 30 redstone dust, 10 redstone repeaters, 7 redstone torches, 2 buttons of choice, and 1 redstone block, which adds an additional 9 redstone dust. Bring the total to 39 redstone dust.
By the time you're done building it, your operations look similar to this. And then off you go. For the survivalists, I'm going to be on my feet as much as I can be, and if I start to fly up, I'll try to go back right down. First thing I'm going to do is find out on your wall where you're going to want your door at. On this build, I'm going to go 3 away from my corner, and that's where my doorway will be. From the doorway, you count 3 blocks in on either one, 1, 2, 3. If you're on the left one, you go over left. If you're on this side, over right, 1. 2 sticky pistons facing you. Yeah, these are sticky pistons, I'm sorry about that. You're going to be using 6 sticky pistons total. After you have 2 stacks like that, you turn and put 2 more with the faces touching the first 2 that you place, and then 2 more next to that one. Mirror image the same thing on the other side, and your wall, which will be moving back and forth, will be there. You can put that in there now. Climb up to the top of your getup, and at your 1 piston at one end, either end, start on the end and go all the way across. You can choose to keep these different than your blocks of choice. In case you have something cheaper, this part won't be seen necessarily. This will definitely be seen, and this doesn't have to be seen. I like to build like this so I know which is which, and later on I don't have to be tearing stuff up and trying to remember how things work. So as I'm going through the hall, that's what I'll see, no matter how I do this. For the redstone work on top of this part, I like to start with my redstone dust. Go to the very first block I went to and go across, make a line, skip a line of blocks, a square, skip another row of blocks, and draw another line. So it should look similar to that. Take your pistons, your redstone repeaters, and facing away from the center of the hall. And again, the front repeaters, or the ones that are closest to the retracting wall, are not touched. They are on 1 tick, and the back ones are on 4 ticks each, which is 3 clicks on each repeater. So from there we have the Jeb Door itself. It's ready to be operated. We gotta find out where our button will be. I'm gonna put it as close as I can to save as much space, which will be running right up against here. I want it on this block. So 1, 2, 3 away from the center. So 1, 2, 3. I place my button of choice. From there, I'll want to draw out my line of where my redstone will go. And here you need repeaters as to not interfere with the pistons. Place another block and a redstone dust 2 blocks like that, 2 redstone like that. On each side of these blocks, you need 2 torches, or 1 torch on each side. Dig under there, and these 2 slots here is where your regular or other 2 remaining pistons will be. This is also where you put your redstone dust. From that redstone block, you'll need to place a repeater, and on the block, place a block touching the repeater, and on it place a torch, a redstone torch, a block, and 1 more redstone torch. Facing your hallway, place a block, 1 redstone torch. I forgot to mention, I know for a fact my input to the door from the button is going to be right here. When going into the hall, it's going to be the one on the right, last corner of the square. It will be seen. I place that type of block, my block of choice, and I place a repeater. I want to use a repeater. You don't have to, depending on the build, but just to save yourself the time and confusion later on, place a repeater now. Simple redstone dust will not work. So back to where we were. And build outward from there with my block of choice. The redstone dust on it. And this part may or may not be or will not be seen depending on how you build this. If you're trying to make it look like a hallway, more than likely won't have it be seen. From here, about 1 more, and up to here and here. That should have shut it. Pressing the button should open it up and let it act like a lever. I thought he was going to push it. So it did. And I'll be able to shut it again. Sorry, I believe I flew over that, and I'm sorry. You kind of know how that works, so I guess, yeah. Alright, it's working. Now we need our second button to close it for when we're in here. Place that there. Can't place it anywhere else or without compromising space and interfering with the pistons. So I place my button 2 away from one of the first sets of pistons that I place. 1, 2. Place a block, and it's to run redstone right behind the button. Down 1. Down 2. Down 3. Straight down to 4. What you're going to want to do is run this line parallel with that torch. And go out 1, I know my torch is on my block of iron there. Go 1 past the torch. I'm 1 past it. Turn to the right. Place 1 more dust. Right after that dust, place a redstone repeater. After the redstone repeater, place a block, a redstone torch on the side of the block, or a face, however you prefer to think of it as. A block on top of the redstone torch. On the opposite side of the block as the first torch, place another torch. On top of that second redstone torch, place a block. And one more redstone torch in the same pattern. With one more block on top of that. And one last torch on top of that. From that torch, run one redstone dust and one redstone repeater to touch them. All of these repeaters so far have been one tick, not needing to click them at all. From there, my second button should close the door and open it. As far as I know, it did. I'm gonna go check. It did, and I should be able to open it as well. There we go. From there, you just fill out what you don't want seen. Fill out your walls real quick, and ceiling, however. Your floors, make them the way that you want. You would have to maybe cover all this up so people don't see it. And that would be a nice little entry to a house or a building. Cover all this redstone up. And it's rather large, I know, but if hidden well, it can be okay. And this is the minimum size that it takes. I didn't count this part. I apologize. You don't really need that one. And however you do your thing to cover that up. That could be covered up by your next floor, the ceiling, whatever it is that's above it. Either way, that was how I got up. Don't need it. And there we go. Home sweet home. And that's how that goes. Thank you for watching. You guys have a great day.